Welcome back. In this sexual skill, I'm talking all about playing rough and this idea of the chase. Lots of people love the chase when it comes to sex, and they love also being caught when it comes to sex. And in longer term relationships, it's actually quite rare to be able to play with that energy again. And it's an energy we play a lot in early stage relationships. You know, there's a lot of pursuit and a lot of sort of gameplay in a way. And this is a game that gets you back into that energy again. It's also fantastic because it lets you get physical with each other in a non-sexual way. So play fighting. If you've never done play fighting or wrestling or slightly rougher sex, this will be really fun to play. You might really surprise yourself. When we do something like play fighting, it raises the heart rate, it raises our blood flow, it gets our heart racing, and we just feel more energized and flushed, and there's more endorphins in our brain and in our body. And after this game, you can see that Dave and I, we're quite flushed and quite excited from the play fighting. And that can be a huge turn on for many people, getting physical with each other and being able to move their bodies together. It's why so many people actually meet partners at dance classes and things like that, because moving your bodies together is a huge turn on. Also, not everyone loves to connect through words. Yes, some people love deep conversation and communication as their way to connect, but many people prefer non-verbal communication. I see this a lot in session with couples, one who loves to talk and one who has a different form of language to communicate. And so this is a great game to get you to communicate with your body language and through your physicality. It's also a great game for people who have never really tried role play or have tried role play and know that they love it. Because role play sounds quite intimidating to some people. They feel like they have to put on a certain outfit and step into a certain role, and they're worried about it feeling awkward or embarrassing or inauthentic to them. Whereas this is a great game because it allows you to step into a role without needing to have a whole script or persona. So one person is the role of the predator and one person is in the role of the prey. This is also great for the kinky people who love to play with power dynamics as well, because the predator is obviously the one doing the hunting and is in more of a control, and the prey is obviously the one being hunted and so is in a position of more surrender. And playing with that dynamic without words, you can just use your body language to express the hunter and use your body language to express being the prey. And so falling into that role is a really fun way to explore role play if this is your first time doing it, or a whole new type of role play if you've done different types of role play before, but not this particular dynamic of hunter and hunted. And this as a dynamic, this idea of hunting and being hunted, is quite core to a lot of people's erotic fantasies. And when consent is present, it can be a really fun thing to play with. And don't forget your safe words, your red, orange and green that we talked about in level 1. You can always use them at any point during this game. You can see why I did all of those really foundational skills in level 1, so that we can explore things like playing rough and chasing each other with safety and with fun and with curiosity. And you can use these things in the bedroom. And that is the joy of sex. It is the adult's playground. It is one of the few places in life that we as adults are able just to play and to express all of these different parts of ourselves. And that is so rare in life, I think, to be able just to step into all of these different roles, especially in this game where you can just remove your words and just use your body language to express that chase. The amazing thing about sexuality is it is where we can step outside of the norms of society and instead step into whatever role we want. And so often people struggle with their erotic fantasies, with what turns them on in the bedroom, because it is in contrast to their values in life. So for example, I work with women who are worried about their desire to be sexually dominated or to feel like the prey, for example, in the bedroom, because outside of the bedroom, they are such strong feminist and independent people. But that is the whole point of the erotic, well, not the whole point of the erotic, but that is one of the major strengths of the erotic, that we can transgress society's norms and eroticize it with safety, with consent, with play, with fun, and allow ourselves to enjoy a whole spectrum of experiences that we would not be able to enjoy and explore in the real world. And what a gift to be able to do that with your partner with safety and fun. And while I'm talking about the topic, I'll also just mention the difference between fantasy and reality. So a lot of the time we have certain things that we think would be really exciting in fantasy. They might be things that we think about during self-pleasure, or that when you try the erotic storytelling worksheet, which is the bonus worksheet for this level, you might journal about something that like, oh, I'm not even sure if I would want that in real life. You know, why do I find that hot? Why is that a turn on in my mind? I'm not even sure if I'd want it in reality. And again, there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Obviously in our brain, it's a lot safer. We're in control completely of what's happening in that fantasy. Whereas in real life with another person, we are less in control. And that's why actually the more you talk about the fantasy with someone, exploring, all right, what was hot about it? Why? What elements would I feel comfortable with in real life? What would I need in order to give those fantasies a go? Things like safe words and things like, you know, check-ins throughout and a debrief afterwards. And you might be able to work out the elements of that fantasy that you do want to bring into real life, or actually there might be some fantasies that you're happy to keep them in the bottom drawer for yourself.